Suresh Kumar, who's the Executive VP, Global Technology Officer, and the Chief Development Officer for Walmart globally. Welcome, Suresh. Welcome to NPC. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for inviting me to participate.
Great.
I wish we were actually together in person, but of course, COVID has got its own ideas. So it's important that we all stay safe. And I hope that everybody who's joining virtually is doing well as well.
Absolutely. And we look forward to welcoming you here in Bangalore at some point and maybe redoing this session in person with a large in-presence audience. So
that would be fantastic.
And hopefully we're there in a few months. Now, just a brief introduction of Suresh, who's had an outstanding career over 25 years in technology and engineering leadership roles. Most recently prior to Walmart at Google, and before that at Microsoft, Amazon, and even a researcher at IBM's Watson Research Center. Suresh has a PhD from Princeton University and is an alumnus of the BTech program from IIT Chennai. So Suresh, you have roots back here in India, South India as well. And
absolutely, yes.
And obviously, you've built a stellar career as part of our diaspora now. So welcome again to NPC. And Suresh, we'll get right into the conversation. You are at the head of the largest company in the world. Your workforce probably parallels, in terms of just the count, the number of customers most companies have, and in the millions. And can you tell us a little bit about the experience over the last 3 quarters, right? Since the pandemic has hit in full force, how did you, and by all accounts, Walmart has very nimbly managed to transport a full 2 million plus whatever workforce and partner ecosystem you have to using technology, I'm sure, to kind of deal with the constraints of the pandemic. So that would be kind of obviously the elephant in the room question for you to start with.
Of course. Last year has been absolutely, it's a generational event, right? So there is really no playbook. Everybody in the world is actually trying to figure this one out together. It's an extremely difficult time, but at the same time, it's really, really inspiring to see how technology is actually helping people get through the pandemic. Everyone watching today, of course, is playing an important role in helping our organizations, in helping our industries, in helping our communities. We all actually share the responsibility for using technology for good. On the Walmart side, we have got more than 2 million amazing associates around the world. Part of what global tech and my remit and the global technologies remit is to provide tools and services that they need to do their jobs and to do their jobs well while taking care of our customers. Now you can imagine how challenging this is going to be during the pandemic. Let's start with our corporate associates. Overnight, pretty much everybody had to move to remote work. We had to scale, firstly, our VPN capabilities almost 6x. We had to make sure that our associates could work securely from home. Zoom usage, of course, went up quite dramatically. But at the same time, we also had to start developing ways in which we can continue our operations in a safe way. So we developed things like COVID self-screening. We had scheduling apps to help manage traffic to our campuses, to maintain social distancing. All of this we had to do while making sure that our businesses kept running without a beat. And that's everything from making sure that our merchants and our supply chain could manage inventory, to making payroll, ensuring finance could wrap up the quarter virtually. We ran our holiday time period, which is our busiest time of the year, in a completely virtual fashion. So it's not, by the way, it's not just about enabling our 2 million plus associates. Remember, we have hundreds of millions of customers as well who also needed to be served safely and helped through the changes. So first and foremost, it actually starts with a customer mindset, right? So whether it is our end customer or even our associates, we think of them as our internal customers. We start looking at what they need and then kind of work backwards from the solutions and the consumer grade technology that is required for them. Secondly, it's about how we organize ourselves and how we make decisions fast. Even before the pandemic, we had organized ourselves to really bring engineering, product, design, operations, and business together, and that really helped us through the pandemic as well. And third, it's about our technology foundation itself. We have been on a journey to embrace the best of the cloud, to democratize data, to have ML in every area. It's now a lot easier to build an app, to roll out new features, to increase network capacity. All of these things actually helped in our transition when we went into pandemic mode. And lastly, innovation and striving for excellence is just part of the DNA. Our founder, Sam Walton, he was the original retail maverick. Walmart was one of the first retailers to see how technology could be a game changer, and remaining curious and looking for continuous improvement. These are just authentic parts of our culture, and that has helped us a lot while we navigated these, completely uncharted waters of the pandemic.
Awesome. So that's a great segue into the next question I had for you is, regardless of the pandemic, retail was anyway in a huge transformation mode, right? And I think the pandemic has made you all as an internal organization much more agile and speedy, just by necessity almost. Can you talk to us about the motion in retail, right? The transformation that's happening there and the kinds of things that technologies are doing and how you're thinking about it over the medium term, let's say. We'll do some crystal ball gazing later, but let's start with the medium term and how you're viewing it from Walmart.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, look, technology is at the heart of the retail disruption, but I think it is already underway. COVID and the pandemic has simply accelerated large parts of these. My firm belief is that technology is the one that drives lasting change, whether it is in retail or in any other area. And it's the thing that makes our jobs all that much exciting, right? In fact, it's the impact of technology on retail disruption, which was the primary driver which attracted me to Walmart in the first place. So let me talk about sort of technology trends and how that is impacting retail in sort of the short and medium term along two axes. One is around consumer-facing technology changes. Now, we have all seen in the last decade or so how the introduction of compute at your fingertips through a smartphone, ever-increasing computing power in the consumer hands, greater connectivity, all of these things are enabling new forms of customer experiences that we could have dreamt only 10 years back, right? So it is streaming content, whether it is maps, and with the rise of artificial intelligence and deep neural networks, we are starting to see NLP and voice. These are all playing huge huge impact in terms of customer experience. So when you look at it from the customer angle, the things that customers care a lot about in retail, they are about great quality selection, great value, convenience. These are sort of the staples of what the retail customer experience is about. And technology is playing a great part in shaping each and every one of these things. I'll just give you one example in terms of convenience, which got accelerated because of COVID, express delivery. So you order online and we have products that are ready to be shipped from our stores and we deliver it to you within 2 hours. We rolled it out across thousands and thousands of stores. This is something that COVID accelerated, and we'll continue to see some of these things. I talked about voice and NLP. This is helping customers be able to find great products and great selection in a very natural way, to focus on their tasks while they look at products. We can see AR, VR starting to play a really important role in terms of how people interact and understand more about products. So that's on the consumer side, the customer-facing pieces. It's also important not to forget about the business enablers or the back end of the business, the processes that drive retail. So here, clearly you can see that the growth and the maturity of the cloud has enabled us to tackle problems at a scale that is larger than ever before, at speeds that are much faster than before. So we are now able to collect, we're able to process in real time and reason over data that we could never do until now. So ML has enabled us to create sophisticated models to predict demand, to personalize for our customers at scale, to optimize complex supply chain, transportation networks. These are trends that are going to continue to evolve. And these are the things that are going to help drive optimization of retail processes while enabling really personalization at a global scale. And these trends, I think, have already started. They've accelerated due to COVID, and you will see them continue in the next 3, 4, 5 years or so.
Got it. So Suresh, you're in both an enviable position and an unenviable one, in the sense that you probably have a mandate and a remit to kind of accelerate a fast-moving engine on a huge engine, right? and do it while it's on the run, right? So give us a little bit of a sense of how you frame decisions, right, for adoption of technologies, new technologies, both on the consumer customer-facing side and on the back end, right? Because you probably have so many choices. Everybody in the world wants to sell to you, and everybody wants you to do a pilot. So just give us a sense of that, how you handle that.
Yes. So look, a few things that guide us. First of all, at the scale of Walmart, the amount of impact that we can have through technology is immense. And we are undergoing huge amounts of transformation. We start, first of all, with what the customer needs are. I talked about the importance of the customer first. So that basically drives a lot of our decision making in terms of what is it that the customer really wants, and how can we help our associates serve our customers in the best possible way. From there, you can kind of work backwards. And when it comes to, you talked about, everybody wants to sell to us, how do we select and so on. At Walmart scale, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. So it is important for us in terms of the way in which we think about areas where we invest ourselves. These are areas that are going to be core to the customer value proposition that we deliver. And then we partner with, large set of partners, whether they're big partners like Microsoft and Google and IBM and everybody else, to small startups and emerging companies, to help us deliver this value, especially in those areas we would like to partner where they can add complementary value. So you start with the customer, you understand what the problems are that they need to solve, figure out what is core, develop the core, and partner for the rest.
Got it. And I think one element of your technology strategy has been to also build capabilities in India. I mean, I know Hari Vasudev's team is building out a pretty large footprint of engineering capability for you here. Could you talk a little bit about that and how you win India and how it dovetails into your larger global strategy?
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, Walmart Global Tech in India is actually absolutely critical to help drive our tech vision to actually lead the next retail disruption. I'm super positive and encouraged by our successes in India. We have terrific talent over here. And these are teams that are high-performing teams with deep domain expertise, developing enterprise solutions, consumer-grade solutions, tech products to create world-class experiences for our customers, for our suppliers and our associates. We have our teams in India now developing solutions for all aspects of Walmart across all segments. Few examples, for example, a team in India developed contactless delivery for our customers in Walmart Mexico to ensure the safety of our customers and our delivery agents. There is another team that developed solutions for Sam's Club to optimize safety stock. On the US supply chain side, I talked about express delivery. A large part of the express delivery was actually enabled by our teams in India. So India is a very, very critical part of how we develop solutions. Our global collaboration and our shared goals are enabling us to really understand not just the business needs, but also how we can bring teams together across the globe to help deliver the solutions that we need.
Great. And Suresh, talking about India, I know congratulations on your recent appointment to the Flipkart board as well. I know you've just been on for a couple of weeks, so we'll give you time for the next time we interact to ask you more about that experience and where you think that's headed. But let's talk about the startup ecosystem in India, because a lot of the audience today is really founders who are building companies across the range of products, from SaaS to even IoT and many, many technologies that hit retail, right? What would be your recommendation for a young startup based out of India that wants to engage with the Walmart group, right, overall? How should we find a route for those startups to kind of engage effectively?
No, absolutely. First of all, I think the startup ecosystem in India is really, really terrific. It's amazing to see the talent and the passion and the creativity of all of the companies that are out there. And I think just the sky is the limit in terms of what the Indian startup ecosystem is able to accomplish. When it comes to working with a company like Walmart, two things. First is our unwavering commitment to help people save money and live better. So keep that in mind. We need partners to help deliver on that promise. So, one advice that I would give for the startup ecosystem and the startup teams that would like to work with us is that the founders should really share our customer first mindset. Think about how your product, your idea can help further Walmart's mission of helping people save money and live better. Second, don't be intimidated by working with a large company. Of course, every week we have over 265 million customers and members visiting, over 11,000 stores in 55 banners, 26 countries, websites, huge scale, massive. But we are trying out new things all the time. One idea might work in a small handful of stores, and then suddenly we can roll it out chain-wide. So don't get intimidated. Start by thinking about how your idea and your product can help further the mission that we have, and have the right mindset. And those are going to be great opportunities.
Great. I think, Suresh, I'm sure Hari and his team will be inundated with all kinds of startups that want to engage. But, we look forward to having some startups serve Walmart, right, in the future. In the last segment, I know we want to be respectful of your time. I wanted to get into technology careers, right? And you've had a very stellar career over the last 25 years, and you've made decisions at each point, right? Both educational and then, how to step from one job to the next and what you do within a role, right? Could you talk a little bit about that? What guidance would you have for somebody who's in early to mid-career, right? And aspires to be like Suresh?
Well, look, I have been privileged and lucky to be part of some really fantastic companies. You mentioned my career. I started out at IBM in research. Then I had a chance to build a lot of the core retail and supply chain at Amazon. I ran cloud infrastructure for Microsoft, and then the ad business, the display ad business for Google. But now I'm in what I believe is the most exciting job ever. It is leading technology for the world's largest retailer. As I look back, things that have shaped my career, primarily, I have been fascinated by how technology can help businesses and how technology can help shape customer experiences. This is my passion, and that is the one that has kind of guided me as I kind of went from one road to another. You can see that it is not so much about staying with a particular domain. I have always been very curious about how technology can impact in many different areas, which is why I went from research to e-commerce to cloud and so on. But that worked for me. In terms of the advice that I have for somebody who's starting out, first and foremost, I think a sense of both curiosity and a sense of eagerness to learn can go a very, very long way. It is particularly important for all of us in technology because things are changing so fast, but it's true in pretty much any career. Have an open mind, be curious, and be in a learning mode. You never know what opportunities are going to show up, and you'll be prepared for it.
Correct. Very good. That's great advice. And I think, what's really outstanding in the choices you made, and I think it reflected even your current role. You both have a technologist perspective and I think a relevance to the business, right? You've got the second hat you wear as the chief development officer, and that's probably much more organizationally focused as opposed to technology and technology teams focused, right? And
it is. It's more about making sure that technology can help drive internal business to be more efficient, to be more competitive. It's about how technology can actually help influence the business strategy itself.
Yeah, and that thread seems to flow through your career since at least after IBM. So thank you, Suresh. I wanted to ask you a few rapid fire questions at the end before we close. These are just fun questions, so a little personal, and feel free to chime in with whatever response comes to top of head. What's a favorite food or item you like to gorge on while?
There is the stuff that I love to have, especially when I visit Bangalore, and I love to go to a restaurant like Kamath and have my idli vada sambar. Okay, when I'm in the US, I treat myself to some nice ice cream as a dessert treat.
Very good. So, don't worry, Suresh, we'll get you both ice cream and Kamath when you visit next. And, what's a favorite pastime? How are you spending time locked up in the pandemic? Was there something you're binging on online at Netflix or wherever else?
Absolutely. Look, the pandemic has forced us to all stay at home, which means we spend more time watching stuff. If I'm not on Zoom, I go to watch stuff on my big screen TV on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend you go watch The Queen's Gambit. Fantastic, Netflix series. I don't know whether it's available in India or not, but I know that it is here in the US. I binge watched it in I would think 3 settings maybe. Fantastic.
Yeah, likewise. That's a great recommendation, and I'm sure those that are watching that haven't yet watched Queen's Gambit will go for it. Hey, Suresh, thank you so much for taking time here. I know you've got a gargantuan job, running the world's largest companies, technologies, and teams. And thank you for spending time here. We look forward to welcoming you to NPC next year in person when you make your visit to Bangalore. So thank you very much for spending time here.
Thank you, Ravi, and thanks everybody for having me here. I really look forward to being there in person. In the meantime, stay safe and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you.